This is my 2000 Honda Shadow 1100 Spirit, and I'll be doing a little walk around and parts list on it. So I'll start from the front. Just got Shinko 777s on the front. As you can tell, it has a white wall in the back and not in the front, because Shinko does not make a 110/90/19 in white wall. They make a 100/90/19, but I decided to not give up the width of the front tire. Moving on, took the fender off, nothing special there. I got turn signals. It's from Amazon, but they're made by a company called Crater. The only reason I have turn signals on this bike is because of inspections. Otherwise I'd yank them off. But, so we got, moving on, new speedometer. So I switched to these 2-inch risers. These are just from eBay. They're like cheap ones. And it interfered with the speedometer. I was thinking about getting a new speedometer anyways, because I hated the giant, like the size of the headlight speedometer on this thing. And really don't miss it at all. I'm not planning on getting rid of the bike, so I'm not worried about miles and stuff. If you can't tell how fast you're going by what gear you're in, the sound and the wind and everything around you, you're kind of lost in the sauce there. But yeah, so if you run these 2-inch risers, you cannot use the stock speedometer. You could probably run it with like a 3-inch, because the stock ones were like, I can't remember if they're 2.5 or 3 inches long, and then they angled back. But I didn't like how they set the bars on a different plane. I think it looks better aesthetically this way. And then moving on to the bars, they are Road 6 Customs, 12-inch bars. I had the Road 6 the same bar, but in 10-inch, and I liked them, but I wanted to go a little higher. So with the 12-inch bars and the 2-inch risers, I'm 5'11", and it's like perfect, like shoulder height, just a hair under. And when you order, make sure you tell them that you have a metric, because then they'll make the knurlings on the 4-inch centers, I believe, if I remember right. Because Harleys are 3.5-inch centers. These are 4-inch. Just got the black caps on them. I just Gorilla Glued them in. And then the mirrors, they're from Blue Collar Bobbers, and I like them. The thing I don't like is that the hardware rusts. So I'm going to be sanding it and putting some touch-up paint on it. It's kind of unfortunate because they're a nice mirror, but the hardware they use, the paint on the hardware is just rusting. And they've only been on there for a couple months. Granted, this bike does sit outside, which is why it's dirty. I didn't bother to clean it for the video. But, yep, everything else stock up here. Moving on, we'll talk about the exhaust. So the exhaust is the stock pipe. So it's a cheap way to create in my opinion, a decent looking exhaust. So what it is it's a stock head pipe with the chrome heat shields removed. So you remove the chrome heat shields, remove the mufflers, then it'll unbolt and come right off. It's kind of a pain in the ass if I remember right. It's been a few years since I've done that, but so it's the stock head pipe, and then it has a little ring around it where it would help the clamp hold the mufflers on. So I cut it right behind that ring, so it's just a smooth pipe. And then I got, just from like eBay or something, adapters. So it's a 1.5-inch. You can kind of see right there where it necks down. It goes over the pipe, so it's a 1.5-inch ID to a 1 3/4-inch OD or ID. Can't remember. It's not really important. But I just drilled a hole, put a bolt through it, and then wrapped the wraps from Blue Collar Bobbers as well. Wrapped from where it necks down to there. So it kind of gives it a better look in my opinion, instead of just the 1.5-inch, because the thickness makes up, roughly the same. And then the tone is obviously different with the 1 3/4. And if you like this look, but you don't want the straight pipe sound, I had run for a while 4-inch mini baffles from JMP Customs, or JMP Cycles, my bad. And they have these little leaflet things in there, inside the fucking baffle. There's these little leaves that stick out, and I just like pounded a socket through the middle of it, and then those bolt right in. You just drill, and yeah, so you just drill a hole, put a bolt through them, and they work pretty good. Take that. It's quiet, definitely quieter than the straight pipe. As you can see here, I cut the passenger pegs off in the middle of grinding that down and painting it. So you're gonna need to tune it if you do anything. Even if you just like drill the little baffles out at the end, you need to tune it because it runs way too hot and it'll overheat. I ran a dyno jet kit in this bike. I don't recommend it because the sizes are too coarse. So I think like a 170 size jet was too lean and a 175 was too fat. So go to carbjetkit.com, type in all your specifications, and they'll send you out a kit. Right now, with a K&N filter and the straight pipes, I'm running, I think, a 48 size pilot jet, 2 needle shims, and then a 190 rear and a 192 front. No, 192 rear and a 190 front, and it's too fat on the top end, but I'll go in there and swap it out. I ordered more jets, I just haven't gotten around to it. I understand that the VT1100C, which is what this engine is, requires same size jets. I've just been messing around with it to see what I think works the best. Moving right along, we got a seat. It's from Blue Collar Bobbers. It's a really nice seat. It's kind of expensive, but I think it's worth it. It's a bolt-on deal, works real nice. My only complaint on it is hardware. Once again, from Blue Collar Bobbers, not a fan of the hardware. The big thing is that it's in standard size, which I don't understand why they made it in standard size. The whole bike's metric, so I have to have standard wrenches for an all metric bike. Another thing is that the hardware was too, you can see here, this is different hardware I got from a hardware store. The stuff they give you is like slightly too short in my opinion, and the nuts worked their way off. So these are metric bolts from a hardware store, and then these are the factory bolts. And that one's, you can see that it's not long enough. Now granted, I have these turn signal mounts in here, so that's gonna, that's like a 3/16 of an inch or so. But even then, you should have a few threads exposed, otherwise the nuts are just gonna work their way off. Again, Crater turn signals, and just a generic bracket from Amazon, I think, I can't remember. Shocks, these are from eBay. They were like $180. The company on them is Forza, I guess. I like them. I got the preload all the way down. They're lowered shocks, so obviously they're gonna be a little rough. With a Springer seat, it rides fine to me. After a few hours of riding, your butt's gonna be hurting, or a little numb, but it's the nature of a bobber anyways. And yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, the license plate bracket. Can't remember. I think it's from eBay. Just bolts on. It like comes with, it's like modular, so you can mount it however you want it. The axle nut, that's pretty nice. This brake light, I think it's just from eBay or something. Can't remember. Bolts on through there, and I just cut the excess off because it's made for a horizontal mount, not a vertical mount. And yeah, that's about it. I forgot something. I'll throw it in the description. But I think that's about everything. If you have any questions, let me know, and we'll do a little startup with the pipes, and that'll be it.